Every prepper or survivalist should have a backup information guide for when disaster strikes. Access to the internet may be limited, and you won't be able to find survival resources online via your phone or other devices. No more Google, no more Wikipedia, and no more ChatGPT. Hauling around a bunch of books in your bug-out bag can also be cumbersome, and you don't want to waste precious time searching for the appropriate book that will help you deal with a potential emergency that is right in front of you. That's why it's a great idea to make yourself what I call a reference and identification portfolio, also known as an R.I.P. Maybe that's not the best abbreviation. Today on the channel, I'm going to share with you how to best organize your portfolio in a way that best suits your needs and circumstances. We're also going to show you the world's most indestructible paper that you can print your documents on. I assure you, you've never seen anything like this before. Not only is it nearly impossible to destroy, it's also completely waterproof and heat resistant. So let's get to it.
Hey buddy, you got a light? Hey man, you got a light?
In order to make our RIP, we're going to need a few things. We're obviously going to need paper. We're going to need our laser jet printer for the paper that we're using. We're going to need our laminator, probably need a paper cutter, and a hole punch. All right, so today we're just going to give you an example of how you can organize your RIP. And I'm not going to be sharing any identifiable information, obviously, but just to give you an idea of how we organize it. So here we have a binder. You can use any binder. This is a Rite in the Rain military ruggedized binder, and we have everything laminated. There's cheap ways to do it. It's not necessary, but it's a way to add a bit more durability to your documentation. I would not recommend laminating any official government documents because that could potentially void those documents, but you should have copies of all your identification. In addition to that, you may want to go above and beyond and actually have those documents notarized. This is called an apostille. This is something you can use in other countries to quickly and efficiently verify your identity and certain other aspects like marriage certificates, proof of ownership. This process of notarization is going to vary from country to country. But if you travel a lot or if you plan on bugging out to another country after SHTF, you're going to want to have all that stuff done beforehand. This is an identity thieves treasure trove. This is not something you want to just keep laying around because of course you're providing all of your information. Now I'm going to walk through this and we're going to show you some different things that we have in our RIP to give you some ideas. So first off, we have all of our IDs. You're going to want this for every family member. So we have everything in color. If we have it in color, maybe the authorities of a given region would be more likely to accept it as an authentic identifier. So here we have a birth certificate, we have our driver's license, we have our health card, maybe if we have any insurance, we have our SIN, our social insurance number, and of course, you may even want to have your ID blown up. This is Normal C. Norman right here. His location is Rodney's trailer, born August 15th. His lifelong goal is finding a light for his stogie. This is just to give you an example, so you might want things like property deeds in there. Power of attorney, in case there was ever some medical incident and somebody had to act on your behalf. Criminal record, background check. Having something like this would potentially come in handy. You can do this any police station, your local police station. You can even go to the federal level to have it done. I believe it's about 25 bucks. Something like this would be very useful if you did find yourself in a bug out situation and you had to prove to somebody else that you weren't a threat. Not only that, but to have your skills documentation, trade certificates, diplomas, things of that nature. You know, there's going to be a lot of impersonation and fraud after a disaster because, of course, anybody can just say, yeah, I'm a doctor, I'm a mechanic, and they go in there and they clean you out. So this is going to be a way to ensure your identity, not just for the authorities, but also for others and other potential people within the community. Another thing you're going to want to consider is stock certificates. So if you own a lot of stock and there is some massive cyber attack that wipes everybody out, how are you going to prove that you own said stock? Especially if you do your investing through a bank. you're gonna wanna get stock certificates. Now there's ways to do this, and I'm not one to advise you on how to do it. I just know that it's possible. So it's something you should definitely look into. You can also put your banking information in there, but again, this is something that you want to keep secure. You wanna keep this in a safe or somewhere where nobody is gonna find it, because it's a treasure trove for identity thieves. For that reason, you gotta keep it a secret. Anything that is expensive that you wanna prove that you own, make sure you have a receipt for said item. Of course, your last will and testament, medical alert information, so your blood type, any medications that you require, any special conditions, any medical data that might be useful for a doctor if you're lucky enough to come across one after the apocalypse ensues. So next up, these are things that you can just buy. You can buy backroad map books, and I would encourage you to, but you may want to have yourself a hard copy that is encased in laminate, just in case, you know, your map book gets destroyed. And these are things that you can print off online yourself. Obviously, ink and paper and lamination cost money, so you might just be better served to go out and buy the map book, but it might not hurt to have something like this in your book anyways, and you can get very specific. That's what I like about it. So you can get topographical with it. If you live in like a rural region of varied terrains, topographical maps will certainly come in handy. I think something that everybody should do is take numerous satellite shots at varying resolutions of the region that surrounds. Because of course, a topographical map is not going to show you all of the man-made artifacts in the landscape. A satellite map is going to be mostly up to date, and not a lot of stuff is going to be built after SHTF, so you can presume that what you see is what you get. Now, in terms of more general reference material, the sky is the limit. There's plenty of survival booklets out there that contain all of the information that I'm about to show you, but this method allows you to customize it to your needs. So some of that stuff you might not need. If you want to organize it in your own way, you can. But before I show you that, I want to show you something else. There's different types of paper that you can get in order to ensure that your documents are going to be able to withstand the rigors of a disastrous environment. So here we have different types of Rite in the Rain paper. One is also called Duracopy. So this is all-weather paper. We also have the antimicrobial Rite Shield. So this is just going to be a stronger, more durable paper, which is going to be water resistant. Most of this stuff is going to require a laser printer. So that's something to keep in mind. So you can get the standard, you can get the antimicrobial shield, or you can even get the cardstock. One of my personal favorites is the Duracopy, except for the fact that it's insanely expensive. This stuff costs $1 per sheet, but there's a good reason why. As you can see in this demonstration, the Duracopy is completely waterproof. Water just beads right off it. In fact, on the back of it, it's got a scuba diver reading a piece of Duracopy underwater. So this is made for underwater use. But in addition to that, this stuff is damn near indestructible. I want to show you what I mean by that. My cheat sheet for this video is actually printed on Duracopy. Now I challenge anybody, you strongmen out there, I want to see somebody rip this in half. I have a pretty decent grip strength, or at least I used to. And I simply cannot. It's completely indestructible. Where has this stuff been all my life? You know, the thing is, we've sold this at CanadianPreparedness.com for years, and I've never taken it out and actually played with it. I knew it was pretty cool stuff, but that's phenomenal. If you have a document in your bug out bag that you want to last forever, put it on this stuff. And like I said, it's completely waterproof. Here we show it supporting somebody standing on it. Now, if you put a cut in it though, then you're gonna see, so it'll just peel. But it's pretty cool stuff. So you can get that stuff at CanadianPreparedness.com. Again, it's $1 a sheet, so not necessary, especially if you're gonna be laminating. you don't need this, but if you don't want to laminate and you want something incredibly durable that's gonna outlast you in the apocalypse, then get some DuraCopy. All right, now getting into the reference material. So here we have universal symbols that you can use to communicate with in an SHTF situation. We have different SHTF survival and prepper frequencies. This is going to vary from country to country. We have the military alphabet, so Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, that sort of thing. And we also have the corresponding Morse code that accompanies the alphabet. This is the Braille alphabet. Interestingly, I told the communist camera girl that I just watched the movie The Book of Eli, which is one of my favorite apocalypse movies. And in that movie, the whole point is to take a Bible, which is in Braille, to the promised land, if you will, so that it could be encoded for posterity. So basic sign language is something else you may want to consider if you come across somebody who's hearing impaired. But not only that, in order to communicate in silence, you might find yourself in a situation where you need to gesticulate covertly a message to somebody, then that's going to be very useful. This might seem a little overkill, but you just never know. Then we have other, standard medical survival how-to tips, how to build a stretcher, basic first aid stuff, how to apply a tourniquet. Now, I almost spit out my drink when I seen that they put in the FEMA advice for how to deal with a nuclear explosion. As we all know, it's a total joke. Here is their advice, which is basically the modern version of duck and cover. Get inside, and stay tuned, which means wait for the government to tell you what to do. But how do you wait for the government to tell you what to do if there is no internet and the communication is down? So we have plenty of videos on what you can do in the case of a nuclear explosion. I would not rely on this one-page FEMA explainer. Here we have some information on radiation, some information on what can shield you from radiation. We have decontamination procedures, which is great information. We have exposure levels and target exposure levels. So you want to keep it under 0.1 millisieverts in order to avoid any sort of radiation sickness. Here we just have more survival skill diagrams. So how to catch rain in a 1,000 liter tote, making a solar still, using the rock. This is an important one, how to make bleach out of pool shock, and you can use that bleach to purify water. Simple things like length measurement charts. We may actually go back to the imperial system because you use units of measure which are kind of universal. So as opposed to, needing a centimeter and a meter stick, you can use your feet, your thumb, 1 yard is 1 footstep, etc., etc. This is showing you the different cordage and the average amount of wood in cords you can expect to get per acre and how much wood would be required for a family to heat a home for 1 year. And just so you guys know, we're going to post a document in the description section below that has links to all of this stuff. A lot of this is just open source information. We're not selling this, obviously. So this is a guide to planting certain crops. This is a plant hardiness zone map, so it's important to know where you can grow what. This is something that's going to be customized to your region. These are wild edibles, and it's important to have an image not only of the berry itself, but images of the plant at different stages of its life cycle. So this is a canning timetable. This is just other food preservation methods, how much of a plant for a year's worth of food. The needs of a person over the course of a year are a lot. This is why food storage is so important, because of course you're only ever harvesting for maybe a month or 2 out of the year. That other 10 months out of the year is going to rely on how you preserve the food. How to save seeds, how to make moonshine, how to make soap, how to make your own paper, how to fish, quick guide on how to fish, how to field dress a deer. We've shown you how to do that on the channel before. How to make biodiesel. That's a good one. Another one that we don't have here is wood gas. How to do wood gasification. So wood gas, they did this back in World War II when gas was in short supply. You can actually make a vehicle run on wood. It's dangerous and it's dirty and it's probably not going to get you too far, but it's possible. How to pick a lock, Got some Rambo stuff in there. You might want to add some anarchist cookbook stuff, if you know what I mean. Mixing and matching chemicals to make things go boom. Simple things, you know, things you should probably know, but maybe other people within your group don't know. How to jumpstart a car, how to change a tire, simple things like that. How to measure how much daylight is left using your hand. How to siphon gas. Just watch the Trailer Park Boys and you'll figure that one out.
Ricky, what are you doing? Do you want to go back to jail? Poured a bit of gas and stepped under 1,000. Can't go back to jail for that.
Identifying the general signs that a plant is edible or not. Reloading ammunition. Ammunition is going to be in very short supply. Proper gun cleaning methods. So those are just some ideas that we have for you today. Any Rite in the Rain guides are ridiculously expensive. They come with all your standard planner type stuff, but it's all Rite in the Rain paper and you can organize it exactly how you want. If you guys have any tips on how you would organize your RIP, your reference and identification portfolio, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out.
The best way to support this channel is to support yourself by gearing up at CanadianPreparedness.com, where you'll find high-quality survival gear at the best prices, no junk, and no gimmicks. Use discount code PREPPINGGEAR for 10% off. Don't forget, the strong survive, but the prepared thrive. Stay safe.